Move it over. You should have moved it over. Oh, hey, we are inside the 2022 Mercedes Benz E450. Oh, the Mercedes Benz EQS 450 Plus. Excuse my disrespect, because this vehicle is its first in its class by Mercedes-Benz for EVs, and boy is it an experience. By the brand name, EQ represents emotion and intelligence, and boy does this vehicle have tons of intelligence. This vehicle has 107.8 battery capacity, produces 329 horsepower, and has 419 pound-feet of torque. Now, most channels say you can't even see under the hood, but here we're gonna show you. Take a look. Now, on the side of the vehicle, there's a nice little, I guess, a port which takes in the washer fluid. Now, I do apologize. This will be a fast talking episode because there's tons and tons of features inside this vehicle. For instance, the center infotainment screen. It's all touch screen. It has tons and tons of features and information. We'll try and get through a little bit of the information at the moment. We have your EQ feature, which you hit, and it pretty much gives you the charging, the range, and the consumption of the vehicle. So overall, just a display of the vehicle functionality drive wise. You can open the socket flap with a button, but you can't close the socket flap. It shows a digital display of the battery, which is actually underlying the driver and passenger seat in the middle, sort of like a skateboard. It's a rear-wheel drive vehicle. The motor is mounted in the rear of the vehicle. As well, the rear of the vehicle has a 10-degree turning radius, which, if you didn't know, you can turn on and off by checking out the snow chain mode, which we will show as well. The trunk has the largest space I've seen in absolutely any vehicle for the most part, aside, in this sedan class. Very large space, nice pull down privacy screen, well thought out and done by Mercedes. Now, the driver, as a driver in this vehicle, I feel super comfortable. These seats are some of the most comfortable seats I've been in. You can control them right here with the door panel. 3 memory seatings. You got ventilated seats, heated seats, and you can also control the passenger seat. Ambient lighting all throughout the vehicle. You have ambient lighting in the dash, in the door, the rear passenger doors, as well in the trim line of the seats. Superb, well thought out way to give a more immersive feel for the driver and the passengers and the experience of ambient lighting. Mercedes-Benz does ambient lighting the best. Now, again, this is a very smart vehicle. Just like in an iPhone, you have Hey Siri, which I hope it doesn't stop my camera recording. But in this Mercedes-Benz, you have Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
Voice control command allows you to deal with certain features in the car, so therefore the driver doesn't have to deal with capacitive touch or even touching the screen. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
I'm feeling cold.
I'm increasing the temperature to maximum.
You can't get any better than that. Voice command controls for a myriad of features in the car. I will say I can see the future of Hey Mercedes being so in tune that you can roll down the windows. So moving on, so much things to talk about. Let's get into the infotainment screen. Mercedes, you can go away. Sorry about that. There's 2 ways to display your infotainment display. This is known as 0 layer. I personally favor the classic. Oh no, we're in classic, so 0 layer and classic. I prefer classic. 0 layer, like it says, is directly operable navigation, media, and phone suggestions. Some people feel like this vehicle with the infotainment and get into the settings is a lot of digging, and personally, it really is and it isn't at the same time. You have tons of ways to actually get throughout the system. As well, you have a fingerprint reader that allows you to select your profile to all your driver customizations and features in the vehicle. As well, you could always swipe down to your favorites. make a favorites list for whatever feature you want to get to real quick. So let's check out the 3D view. And right here you have augmented reality, where it uses all 4 cameras in the side mirrors, cameras in the front, and the rear view camera that's underneath the Mercedes Benz Star, which also opens up the trunk. You can literally see around your vehicle. If you look to the left, you'll see a Ford passing by, and we can watch the Ford on the screen. Now, some people who are not accustomed to this might say, oh, this is not necessary, it's not needed. It is honestly true, you're right. But since we're stepping in the future, you get the technology. A lot of technology is unnecessary until it is. There's so much information to go through with this vehicle, it's insane. We could also speak on more of this as we drive. Now, I'm gonna put my seatbelt on, and I'm also gonna explain to you the awesome displays in the driver's dash. Now, you have these 2 stalks on the left, as well in the driver's control, you have these paddle shifters. Now, with an EV, there's no real gear shifting because we're really running on a motor and a battery. So what Mercedes intuitively done is, since you're so accustomed to paddle shifting and gear shifting, you actually now have what's known as recuperation, which deals with the braking of the vehicle, the regenerative braking of the vehicle. So if you up on the paddle on the right, it goes to no recuperation. There's 3 level settings for the recuperation drive mode. Now, no recuperation pretty much means the car won't electronically slow down the vehicle when braking. As well, when you do have it on, automatically the braking kicks in. So we'll go to normal recuperation, and then as well we'll go to strong recuperation. Now, with strong recuperation, what I do like is the engine noise is artificial, and it becomes stronger when you're in strong recuperation compared to it being in normal or no recuperation at all. So let's take a listen. And automatically the car starts slowing down. Very, very interesting feature to get accustomed to. I personally love it because it gives the feel of, one, driving a normal gasoline car, because when you let go of the pedal, depending on the design of the build of the car that you are driving, it will automatically slow down because of the curb weight of the vehicle, the road, and so on and so forth. But if you do not want if you don't want the car to automatically engage, see, the car just told me there's a speed bump when actually there is a speed bump. We are on an abandoned runway, and that speed bump is actually an uneven surface that can practically be taken as a speed bump. So thank you, Mercedes, for that. Everything is through the roof with this first in its class EV from Mercedes Benz. This car has the lowest drag coefficient in production history at about a rating of 2, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And all coefficient drag means that it has great aerodynamics. It doesn't really give off too much drag, but none of that is of any importance because the car does 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. It's rather slow for a driver, a real driver. That's nothing of any like substance. Now, with the larger model, the EQS 580, you have 2 motors, all-wheel drive, located in the front and the back, and that vehicle, I believe, don't quote me, produces upwards to 581 horsepower and I believe 619 pound-feet of torque. Either way, the numbers are both up there for 600, and it does 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, and you still have the low drag coefficient. You got active lane keep assist, brake assist, auto collision detection, whether you got pedestrian, bicyclists, anything packing in the rear. You got 4 cameras around the vehicle. You can check the camera angles, tons and tons of features. Some of my favorite features, which I will show you in the digital dash of the instrument cluster for the driver, is right here. You can interact with the left side of the steering wheel. For this dash, you can interact with the right side of the steering wheel. Well, the infotainment with the right side of the steering wheel over here. Very intuitive, very sleek. We are stepping into the space age. You have your sport graphic background, you have your understated, and as well, my favorite, you could also put navigation there. You can have navigation here. Back into here. Now you have the assistance screen. Now in this assistance screen display is augmented reality. The most beautiful part of this is that you have a system that shows you lanes and it expands and it contracts depending on how the system picks up the road. So right now we're in a single lane. We have a single lane display in this augmented reality with a nice, like, crisp colors. The background is mountainous, it has a fog. Very, very well done. It's opened so many doors for what the future could behold of electric vehicles and driving. And again, this is the first electric vehicle on the channel. This is my first EV experience in general, and I am definitely beyond words and definitely taken to new heights in driving with this car. In this model, all you have is USB Type-C. They have gotten rid of the 12 volt, y'all. I am archaic, I'm a fossil fuel in a sense. I'm starting to notice that because I'm becoming my parent of this generation. I like a 12 volt charger. I have a lot of equipment that can use a 12 volt charger. So until I find the piece of adapter that I can use a USB Type-C to plug into an inverter to charge a house outlet type of appliance, because I have drones and things like that, I will never be satisfied. Now I have to be prepared to actually have everything I need fully charged the night before, and that's the thing that comes with an electronic vehicle. All right, so slight little cons about the vehicle. I mean, this is my own personal preference. I feel like cons should only be subjective to what you cannot do that you would like to do, instead of your own personal opinion about something that you can actually adjust in any vehicle. But anyway, I cannot change the fact that there's only USB Type-Cs all over the place. I would like a 12 volt, but honestly and truly, I need to shut up because it's 2023, 2022. We're not doing what we used to do, you know what I mean? We gotta figure this thing out. Next thing that I don't like is that we have this detachable cup holder. It's pretty nice for moving out and keeping extra space right here in the center console, but you also have space in the glove, which has USB Type-Cs, but it seems like a little bit cheap because it seems like the last thing being thought about by Mercedes. But it might be the last thing being thought about by anybody, unless you're like a real fast food goer or drinker and you need some place to go. What I would say is, if you want to make it detachable, put heated cups and cooled cups in a magnetic or electrified, however you can make it safe way, right here in the center. So at least when I detach it, I don't feel cheap. I feel like, oh, these are magical heating removable cups. You know what I mean? You have wireless charging over here as well. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, I truly entirely love this vehicle. EVs are the future. I personally feel like once they get a convertible, because I'm a convertible type of dude, I do not like 4 doors. I'm a coupe guy. I only got 1 daughter. I barely ride with people. When they get a convertible EV, I am on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me and the 2022 Mercedes Benz EQS 450. We're gonna take a step outside. Skirt, skirt. Smart, sophisticated, intelligent. The 2022 Mercedes Benz EQS has been an exceptional drive, guys. You know my slogan, you click, I drip, you subscribe, I drive. And until next time, guys, stay safe. Don't forget to drip and drive. Woo!